Welcome to section 32 of the viruses. This is our virus overview figure. In this video, we'll be discussing mumps. The mump story takes place on a dreary day when the parents are gone. Kids are running loose, causing all sorts of mayhem. Before we bring on the rambunctious children, I want to point out the color scheme in this house. Notice how red and warm it is. This red warm color scheme indicates that this is an RNA virus. So now let's bring on the hooligans. Look at this guy. He's getting crayons all over the place. He spilled 2 piles of them, forming 2 big bumps. These big bumps of crayons represent mumps. Bumps for mumps. If you look outside the window, you will see dark rain clouds. These dark rain clouds bring a negative ominous vibe, almost like they are warning us that some crazy crap is about to go down. Well, these negative rain clouds indicate the mumps virus is a negative sense virus. Negative clouds, negative sense. Now look at the stovetop. The frying pan is on. I guess one of the hooligans will be cooking something up. Anyways, the pan represents pancreas. The flames under the pan represent inflammation of the pancreas or pancreatitis, which often accompanies the mumps infection. Again, flames under the pan for pancreatitis. I guess this kid wasn't cooking food at all. In fact, it looks like he took a pair of crayons from the mumps bumps for those 2 crayon balls to the right, and he's just dropping the 2 crayons right here into the flaming pan. Then obviously that pair of crayons will melt and mix together. This pair of mixing crayons indicates that mumps is a pair of mixovirus. So again, pair of mixing crayons for pair of mixovirus. Now this kid took a crayon from the bumps of crayons and started drawing a line on the carpet. That's pretty dang destructive. Not caring the world, just drawing lines wherever he pleases. Well, this line indicates that mumps is a linear virus. So a line drawn with the crayon here stands for linear virus. With the parents gone, these little goobers are finally able to torture the cat and not get in trouble. In the bacteria videos, we use cats to represent catalase positive. The catalase test is not relevant for viruses. It's only for bacteria. So since this video is all about the mumps virus, which is a virus, we're free to use cats however we want. Look at this kid pulling on the cheeks of the poor guy. This represents big cheeks in patients with mumps. The reason the cheeks get big is because the parotid glands get super inflamed and large. This image shows the poor kid with parotitis from a mumps infection. You can tell his cheeks, specifically his parotid glands, are super inflamed. So this poor cat getting its cheeks stretched out represents parotitis in mumps. Now this kid was trying to help the other kid melting crayons, but he slipped, dropping a pot right smack on his noggin. This direct parotitis from a mumps infection. You can tell his cheeks, specifically his parotid glands, are super inflamed. So this poor cat getting its cheeks stretched image shows the poor kid with parotitis from a mumps infection. You can tell his cheeks, specifically his parotid glands, are super inflamed. So this poor cat getting its cheeks stretched out represents parotitis in mumps. Now this kid was trying to help the other kid melting crayons, but he slipped, dropping a pot right smack on his noggin. This direct blow to his head represents meningitis, inflammation of the brain. Plus he's wearing one of those big ruffly black hats, which we like to use to represent meningitis. Now meningitis is one of the greatest concerns for mumps, so don't forget this. You may also notice that this clumsy pot head kid has stepped onto the mumps bumps, crushing apart of them. Now these mumps bumps also represent inflammation of the testicles that can occur with mumps. So these big swollen piles of crayons that kind of look like testicles will help you remember that testicles are swollen in mumps. Another name for this is orchitis. Again, big swollen bumps for swollen testicles. The fact that the swollen testicle bumps are being stepped on represents sterility following a mumps infection. In fact, when males present to a doctor for infertility issues, patients are often asked if they ever had mumps as a kid. That is such a relevant question for the physician to ask the patient because mumps can devastate fertility due to orchitis. Again, crushing testicles represents sterility with mumps. Now look at the back of this kid's shirt. It says vaccine free. Apparently this boy, or at least his parents who likely buy his clothes, are staunchly against vaccinating children. It's unfortunate too. After all, meningitis and sterility can really be prevented with a simple vaccine. Now you may have heard of the MMR vaccine. This stands for measles, mumps, and rubella. Mumps is obviously an important part of that trio vaccination. Vaccine free kid stands for susceptibility to mumps when not vaccinated. Now look at the countertop here. This kid is beating around in front of the television, watching the news of all things. The news reads live mumps outbreak. Also, this kid's holding a needle. I'm not sure why or how he got this needle, but like I said, there's no parents around. Anyways, this needle in front of a live news broadcast television represents the fact that mumps vaccine, the MMR vaccine I referred to earlier, is a live vaccine. So when you're trying to remember if the mumps vaccine is killed or live, just remember this hooligan is watching live news with that needle. Welcome to section 33 of the viruses. This is our virus overview figure, and in this video, we will be discussing the rabies virus, which you can see right here. Our story involves a forested area in which innocent human mine workers were attacked by a devastating rabies infestation. Here's our first infected beast. It's almost universally understood that rabies causes foaming at the mouth. So when you look at this rabid beast foaming at the mouth, you should think of rabies. Next, notice all the red in the sky. Looks pretty eerie. Well, this red warm color scheme indicates that this is an RNA virus. Now there's some dark rain clouds up above as well. Dark rain clouds like this give many people those negative vibes. So these negative dark rain clouds indicate that this is a negative sense virus. As mentioned before, patients have foaming at the mouth when they have rabies. And the more technical term is hypersalivation. So this foaming at the mouth or salivating beast indicates that patients can have hypersalivation, which can be manifest as drooling or saliva dripping from the mouth. Now notice that the beast is grabbing his head in agony. This indicates the tremendous headaches that can accompany a rabies infection. So grabbing head in agony for headaches. Now look at the face of this beast. He looks like a raccoon. So this is what happened. He was bitten by an infected raccoon, so now he's a weird raccoon of sorts. This indicates that raccoons are known reservoirs for rabies virus. So watch out for raccoons. If you're bitten by a rabid raccoon, you won't turn into a weird raccoon, but you will likely have a nasty headache and experience hypersalivation. Now look at these caves the miners were using for their work. As this weird raccoon howled at the moon, he scared bats out of the mining caves. These bats will help you remember that bats are reservoirs for rabies. Now these miners actually live off killing and eating skunks. Hunting the skunks not only feeds the campers, but it also cuts down the nasty smell that the skunks can cause in the area. Anyways, these skunks represent the fact that skunks are also reservoirs for rabies. So when you encounter a skunk, they may stink you up, you should be more worried about them getting rabies. Not totally aware of the weird raccoon infestation of their camp, these miners are busying themselves with a game of memory. They've actually written the word memory on the table to remind them of the name of the game they're playing. Apparently their memory isn't all that good. Now this represents the fact that rabies can spread to the hippocampus of the brain, an area responsible for memory. So again, playing a game of memory stands for memory loss via hippocampal damage. Now we see that this weird raccoon is dead on the ground. He was shot in the back, as you can see with those wounds there. This represents the fact that rabies is deadly. Now this is the man who grabbed his gun fast enough to take down the beast before it could attack those people at the table. Now you can see the man dumping out all the shells of his gun. Look at those bullets. Those bullet shells represent the fact that rabies virus has a bullet shape to them. This left image demonstrates the layers of the virus. You can see the envelope, the outermost membrane, takes the shape of a bullet. The right image is an electron micrograph revealing several bullet-shaped rabies virus envelopes. You can see them here. Now look closely at the wounds that those silver bullets made. It has an interesting pattern, much like a nebry body. This histological image shows a nebry body in a nerve cell body. So this is a nerve cell body, and we can see the cytoplasm in here, and the nebry bodies are these eosinophilic inclusions. So again, nebry bodies are cytoplasmic inclusions found in the neuron cell body. Now look at this miner climbing up the bell tower. He's trying to warn the other people found in the neuron cell body. Now look at this miner climbing up. So again, nebry bodies are cytoplasmic inclusions here, and the nebry bodies are these eosinophilic inclusions. So again, nebry bodies are cytoplasmic inclusions found in the neuron cell body. Now look at this miner climbing up the bell tower. He's trying to warn the other people in the mining camp that are cytoplasmic inclusions found in the neuron cell body. Now look at this miner climbing up the bell tower. He's trying to warn the other people in the mining camp that they are being attacked by weird raccoons. The bell represents the cerebellum. The man, before he reaches the cerebellum bell, slips and starts to lose his balance. You can see that he's lost his footing there. This represents the fact that the cerebellum is responsible for balance. So when you see a bell and the idea of balance together like this in an image, think about the cerebellum. And in this case, the cerebellum has been infected. His buddy down below is trying to help the situation. You can see he's attached to a bungee cord. Bungee sounds like Purkinje, as in Purkinje neurons. These are the neurons within the cerebellum that get infected. This image shows the layers of the cerebellum, and it's discussed in the cerebellum section within our neurology physiology chapter. So for details, please review that. But for now, just know that Purkinje cells form this layer here within the cerebellum. Now, apparently, weird raccoons hate. The image shows the cerebellum. The man, before he reaches the cerebellum bell, slips and starts to lose his balance. You can see that he's lost his footing there. This represents the fact that the cerebellum is responsible for balance. So when you see a bell and the idea of balance together like this in an image, think about the cerebellum. And in this case, the cerebellum has been infected. His buddy down below is trying to help the situation. You can see he's attached to a bungee cord. Bungee sounds like Purkinje, as in Purkinje neurons. These are the neurons within the cerebellum that get infected. This image shows the layers of the cerebellum, and it's discussed in the cerebellum section within our neurology physiology chapter. So for details, please review that. But for now, just know that Purkinje cells form this layer here within the cerebellum. Now, apparently, weird raccoons hate water. So this guy's helping out by spilling water onto one of the beasts. This represents hydrophobia, fear of water, which is a manifestation of a rabies infection. Now, the reason patients are afraid of water is because swallowing triggers painful pharyngeal spasms. The infection reaching the central nervous system messes with these brainstem functions, including swallowing. So patients avoid water because it causes pain. So this rabid beast recoiling at the water stands for hydrophobia due to pain. Now, when our bell tower guy lost his balance, he spilled a bucket of water he was holding. Swallowed. So patients avoid water because it causes pain. So this rabid beast recoiling at the water stands for hydrophobia. Raccoons hate water. So this guy's helping out by spilling water onto one of the beasts. This represents hydrophobia, fear of water, which is a manifestation of a rabies infection. Now, the reason patients are afraid of water is because swallowing triggers painful pharyngeal spasms. The infection reaching the central nervous system messes with these brainstem functions. Now, the reason patients are afraid of water is because swallowing triggers painful pharyngeal spasms. The infection reaching the central nervous system messes with these brainstem functions, including swallowing. So patients avoid water because it causes pain. So this rabid beast recoiling at the water stands for hydrophobia due to pain. Now, when our bell tower guy lost his balance, he spilled a bucket of water he was holding. You can see the water splash all over his head and his hat. This represents the fact that rabies leads to encephalitis. The fact that there is a hat on his head makes reference to the brain, and the fact that there's water splashing all over his head and hat indicate that this entire brain is infected. So encephalitis. Now, to drive this point home, what parts of the brain are you likely to find nebry bodies in? The cerebellum and the hippocampus. Now look at this beast devour the seagull. We like to see seagull splashing all over his head and hat indicate that this entire brain is infected. So encephalitis. Now, to drive this point home, what parts of the brain are you likely to find nebry bodies in? The cerebellum and the hippocampus. Now look at this beast devour the seagull. We like to use seagulls to represent acetylcholine. The fact that the rabid beast is devouring the seagull represents rabies virus binding to acetylcholine receptors. Now, the miners in the camp need to have dynamite around to mine appropriately. Well, and on his head makes reference to the brain, and the fact that there's water splashing all over his head and hat indicate that this entire brain is infected. So encephalitis. Now, to drive this point home, what parts of the brain are you likely to find nebry bodies in? The cerebellum and the hippocampus. Now look at this beast devour the seagull. We like to use seagulls to represent acetylcholine. The fact that the rabid beast is devouring the seagull represents rabies virus binding to acetylcholine receptors. Now, the miners in the camp need to have dynamite around to mine appropriately. And you can see these boxes labeled dynamite. Dynamite sounds like dynein. It's the dynein motors within the nerve axons that allow the rabies virus to travel up the axon. So the virus attacks the acetylcholine receptors, then it's carried up the axon via dynein motors. So again, dynamite for dynein motors. Now look at the lamps outside each tent here. The lowest one has already burned out. The top two are still functioning perfectly. This represents the virus ascending up the axon in a retrograde fashion. So again, lowest light burning out first represents an ascending infection. So again, the rabies virus will be pictured as a bullet. It attacks the acetylcholine receptor, which you can see here. And you can see the rabies virus taking it into the cell and the dynein motors carrying it up in this retrograde fashion. You can see again here being carried by the dynein motors. Finally, they enter the cell body. In addition to those bullet-shaped envelopes, which you can see on histology, you can also see those antibodies. Now look at this miter guy with a gun standing right between the two trees. You can see that he's trying to see again here being carried by the dynein motors. Finally, they enter the cell body. In addition to those bullet-shaped envelopes, which you can see on histology, you can also see those antibodies. Now look at this miter guy with a gun standing right between the two trees. You can see that he was trying to save his friends, so he just shot this beast in the leg with a tranquilizer dart. You can see that the beast has dragged its leg through the ground behind him. His leg is obviously totally paralyzed. This represents the paralysis and sensation loss that can accompany a rabies infection. This makes sense because there is an ascending infection of the axon. So again, dragging limp, paralyzed leg stands for paralysis. Did you notice that long line created by the beast dragging its limp leg? This long line represents the fact that this is a linear virus. Did you notice how the tails on the beast are super curly, kind of like a helix? This represents the helical capsid that rabies virus has. Now this poor guy was just bitten by an infected weird raccoon. You can see him staggering about its limp leg. This long line represents the fact that this is a linear virus. Did you notice how the tails on the beast are super curly, kind of like a helix? This represents the helical capsid that rabies virus has. Now this poor guy was just bitten by an infected weird raccoon. You can see him staggering about all sick like he's losing his collar because he's getting hot. The point is that he feels super sick and he has a fever and malaise. This represents the fever and malaise that patients often experience. This occurs early in the disease. And since it occurs early, we made this guy just recently bitten. See, he's not yet transformed into a beast. That's how you know it's early in the disease. So again, sick human for malaise and fever early in the disease. Now look at this beast crushing a medicine box beneath his foot. He's super angry that his friend got shot with one of those darts, so he proactively smashed this thing to bits. You can see all the broken vaccine syringes falling out of the box. These broken vaccine needles represent the fact that patients should be treated with a killed vaccine. Once bitten, patients should be given a killed vaccine. The miners need to do their laundry up here in the force, so they have their clotheslines here. These clothespins look kind of like little antibodies. These antibody clothespins are obviously far behind the weird raccoon that killed the vaccines. Nevertheless, they are directly above the monster's head in the image. So the proximity between the clothespins and the syringes below should help you remember that these two items should be given together. The patient should be given rabies immunoglobulins, antibodies, along with the killed vaccine. Welcome to section 34 of viruses. This is our overview figure showing the viruses that you need to know. In this section, we'll be discussing the Ebola and Marburg viruses. Our story takes place in a bowling alley that has been devastated by the zombie apocalypse. You can see blood everywhere. These are sad times. Well, this bowling alley is owned by, or at least was owned by, a Miss Marburg. You can see the logo in the back. Marburg's bowling alley. Miss Marburg's name represents the Marburg virus, and it's a bowling alley, which represents Ebola. Bowling, Ebola. Near the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, before her own bowling alley was attacked, Miss Marburg started logging and writing down all she knew about zombies. She kept all her files in this box labeled zombie files. Although Miss Marburg is no longer with us, the files she created will be very useful to the survivors who wish to combat these zombies. In any case, this box of zombie files represents the Filoviridae family, to which Marburg and Ebola belong. So again, zombie files for filoviruses. On the left, you can see the wall is broken down, exposing the alleys to harsh elements outside. See these dark ominous clouds. The negative feeling you get when you see those negative clouds represents that this is a negative sense virus. Negative clouds for negative sense. Although the scene is kind of sad, there are lots of warm colors seen throughout. Lots of reds and yellows and such. Look at those nice halogen lights with the warm glow they bring. Even Marburg's sign is full of warm colors. But the point is, these red warm colors indicate that this is an RNA virus. Red warm color scheme for RNA virus. I put off the gore and mayhem long enough. So let's bring in our first zombie. Look at him crawling across the floor. So creepy and sad. Don't feel bad for this creature anymore though. He's already dead. Just a zombie now. Look at all that blood dripping from him. It's even coming out of his eyes. Disgusting. This diffusely dripping blood represents the diffuse hemorrhage that often accompanies an infection with the Ebola virus or the Marburg virus. So you can imagine that these are devastating viruses causing all that hemorrhaging. Now this zombie has been crawling for days in search for some food. And it looks like he crawled out through that dark pit where the pins get knocked into. You can see a long line of nasty blood trailing his hemorrhaging body. This long line of blood will help you remember that Ebola and Marburg are linear viruses. So long line of blood for linear virus. Now look at this poor guy, still alive and caught in the fray of the zombie apocalypse. I guess our zombie back there did actually spot some food. Anyways, our living human here is just trying to eat some Jello packets. It's all like this ground Jello starts out as a liquid just like blood, but then it congeals into a solid. The left image shows red blood Jello in its liquid form. Then it coagulates into a solid, which you can then cut up into little cubes, little blood red cubes if you want. You can see that on the right image. So this Jello that our hungry human is trying to eat represents diffuse intravascular coagulation, or DIC. It makes sense that patients with an Ebola or Marburg infection would get DIC. If they are hemorrhaging diffusely, as represented by our hemorrhaging and bloody zombie crawling on the floor, then the coagulating processes will run rampant in the blood, leading to blood clots throughout the body. With all that coagulation, clotting factors will be used up, making it more difficult for blood to repair damaged walls. What does this mean for the patient? More hemorrhaging. It's a vicious cycle between clotting and hemorrhaging. This cycle is best known as DIC. Again, coagulated Jello stands for diffuse coagulation, DIC. Well, as this fellow lifted his cup of coagulated gelatin, he pulled a muscle in his arm. You can see him reach for his new injury, grunting in pain. Poor guy can't catch a break. Maybe his arms are just weak from hunger. In any case, this pulled and now painful muscle in his arm will help you remember myalgias in Ebola and Marburg infections. Again, pulled muscle for myalgias. Now look at this poor guy near the sink. Looks like he got shocked and burned to a crisp. Based on the toaster in the sink and the char marks surrounding the outlet, I'd say the poor guy was electrocuted to death. That's awful. But maybe getting shocked to death is better than getting eaten alive by zombies. Well, this shock to death body here represents shock. In Ebola and Marburg, the infection along with the blood loss can lead to shock. Again, shock to death guy stands for shock. Not the symptoms of Ebola and Marburg are as terrifying as shock, hemorrhage, and DIC. In fact, it's more likely that patients will get a fever, which is represented by all these heat lamps. These heat lamps come handy in case they go without power for any length of time. Again, heat lamps for fever. The most common presenting symptoms are really flu-like symptoms. See this poor guy here on the floor? Sick as can be. He has a wet washcloth on his forehead and everything. He looks really uncomfortable. Well, this super sick man on the floor next to the fever lamp represents the flu-like symptoms that predominate Ebola and Marburg infections. So in addition to fever, you can think of the chills, malaise, and maybe even a sore throat. The things you think of when you think of flu-like illnesses. Now some monkeys climbed through the broken wall and started eating bugs of this dead guy. There's no death with dignity during a zombie apocalypse. Well, the apes eating from this lifeless body represent the fact that Marburg and Ebola can spread via dead bodies or fomites, as well as apes and monkeys. So when you think of apes eating off this dead man, you will remember that apes and dead bodies can transmit infectious particles. Now it looks like a healthcare worker came into the alley to help any victims who are still alive. Unfortunately, he stepped in some nasty watery stool on his way in. That's disgusting. The nasty stool and the blood he was thoughtlessly traipsing through on his way in represent the fact that Ebola and Marburg viruses can be transmitted via direct contact with bodily fluids of infected people. Again, walking through bodily fluids for transmission through bodily fluids. So walking through this bodily fluid pile here is so gross. So gross in fact that this guy starts to throw up. You can see us keeping his hands. Yikes. Well, this revolting part of our story represents the diarrhea and vomiting that come with an Ebola and Marburg infection. So again, septic and diarrhea and then vomiting stands for diarrhea and vomiting. This poor worker really should have been wearing personal protective equipment. Like this worker, for example. Look at her with all that fully donned personal protective equipment, or PPE. This is super important to remember. Since Ebola and Marburg are spread via contact with bodily fluids, healthcare workers must be absolutely vigilant about wearing personal protective equipment. This worker is an excellent example. Again, this healthcare worker wearing PPE will help you remember just how important it is to wear PPE when treating Ebola or Marburg patients. And because this worker is fully protected, she is able to offer support to this poor struggling man. She's brought in some water for support. Since water is practically universal and needed for nearly any type of illness, especially when treatment is just supportive, we use water bottles or water jugs to represent supportive treatment. And supportive treatment is quite frankly the only thing you can do to treat Ebola and Marburg infections. There's no cure for zombies, and there's no cure for Ebola and Marburg. So again, just offer supportive care while the patient fights off the virus. Now here's one last zombie for our creepy story. This zombie was caught by the humans early during the apocalypse, and Miss Marburg had the good sense to chain him up. Look at those 3 chains strapping him back. Thankfully, those 3 chains are preventing this poor feverish man on the ground from getting eaten alive. Anyways, these 3 chains represent the fact that you can diagnose Ebola and Marburg viruses using polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. So chains on a zombie for polymerase chain reaction. Welcome to section 35 of viruses. This is our virus overview figure, and in this video, we'll be discussing norovirus, which you can see right here. This scene takes place back during the time of the Vikings. As you can see, this guy is the leader of the Vikings, and he's boldly crossing the ocean with an axe in one hand and a chalice in the other. Just in case you don't know, a chalice is just a big cup like the one you see the Viking holding up. Chalice sounds kind of like calicivirus, so we've included the chalice front and center to help you remember that norovirus is a member of the family Caliciviridae. The Vikings were bold warriors from the Nordic region of the world. Don't know a chalice, and in this video, we'll be discussing norovirus, which you can see right here. This scene takes place back during the time of the Vikings. As you can see, this guy is the leader of the Vikings, and he's boldly crossing the ocean with an axe in one hand and a chalice in the other. Just in case you don't know, a chalice is just a big cup like the one you see the Viking holding up. Chalice sounds kind of like calicivirus, so we've included the chalice front and center to help you remember that norovirus is a member of the family Caliciviridae. The Vikings were bold warriors from the Nordic region of the world, so we made this scene all about Nordic Vikings. Nordic sounds like norovirus, so this shouldn't be too hard to remember. Nordic Viking, norovirus. Before we get too far, take a look at the beautiful orange sunset. This is to help you remember that norovirus is an RNA virus. Remember, warm colors are used to represent RNA viruses, and dark colors are used to represent DNA viruses. So norovirus is an RNA virus. Next, notice that we've shown this Viking butt naked. He is so bold and brave that he doesn't even wear clothes. He only wears his weapons. To spare you from his inappropriate behavior, we include this black box around his genitals. So anytime you think of this image, just remember the black box surrounding these crazy Viking genitals, and this should help you remember that norovirus is a non-enveloped or naked virus. To make the background even more beautiful, we included a rainbow. The positive vibes of the rainbow should help you remember that norovirus is a positive sense virus. Okay, now notice that we've included a fleet of boats behind the leader. In fact, the boats are perfectly lined up behind one another, so you could say that the boats are in a straight line. This linear formation is to help you remember that norovirus is a linear virus. Now we got this little group of Vikings behind the leader, and they appear to be laughing and having a good time. Perhaps they're excited about raiding a new land, or maybe they're just laughing at this Viking guy who has poop all over the bottom of his shoe. Just like in other videos, the poop on the shoe is to help you remember that norovirus exhibits fecal oral transmission. Of course, the Vikings can't drink from the ocean during their travels, so they had to bring along some fresh water. You can see that this Viking is pretty thirsty. He's holding up the entire jug and guzzling down as much water as he can get his hands on. Notice that we made the water jug shaped like an icosahedron. This is to help you remember that norovirus has an icosahedral-shaped capsid. Unfortunately, not all the Vikings are having such a good time on this adventure. As you can see, some of them are pretty seasick, probably because this is the first time at the sea. Anyways, the seasick Vikings vomiting into the water is to help you remember that norovirus causes viral gastroenteritis, which is characterized by vomiting and watery diarrhea. Now notice that the ship in the middle of the fleet has a unique-looking sail with a map of the United States on it. This is to help you remember that norovirus is common in developed countries because in these countries, individuals are vaccinated against other infections that would otherwise be more common. For example, in children, rotavirus has historically been the most common cause of viral gastroenteritis throughout the world. However, in developing countries such as the United States, many people are vaccinated against rotavirus, so norovirus ends up becoming more common. So again, sail of the United States for common in developed countries. Okay, we already talked about the water jug shaped like an icosahedron. Of viral gastroenteritis throughout the world. However, in developing countries such as the United States, many people are vaccinated against rotavirus, so norovirus ends up becoming more common. So again, sail of the United States for common in developed countries. Okay, we already talked about the water jug shaped like an icosahedron. However, the guy drinking water out of the jug has a separate meaning. In our videos, we've been showing people drinking water to represent supportive care because this is basically what supportive care is. Give oral or IV fluids, monitor vitals, to make sure the patient is stable. So the treatment for norovirus is supportive care.
Welcome to section 36 of viruses. This is our virus overview figure, and in this video, we'll be discussing hepatitis E virus, which you can see right here. This scene takes place among an ancient tribal civilization. Notice that they have killed a cow and are now eating parts of it as it cooks over the fire. As you hopefully know by now, we've been using cows with a spot shaped like a liver to represent the liver. So you can think of this cow on fire as a symbol for the hepatitis virus. The cow being eaten should help you remember the letter E. So putting this all together should help you remember that this image is all about hepatitis E virus. Before we go any further, pay close attention to the sunset. That's right, we've included a lot of warm colors, which should help you remember that this is an RNA virus. Next, notice that we've added a rainbow to the scene. The positive vibes from the rainbow should help you remember that hepatitis E virus is a positive sense virus. Also notice that we've shown many of the people in loincloths, and one of the guys front and center appears to be completely naked. To spare you from this inappropriate behavior, we've included this black box around his genitals. The naked people in this image should help you remember that hepatitis E virus is a non-envelope or naked virus. This tribe obviously really likes to eat, as you can tell by the big cow that they're eating. But they have also collected a heap of eggs off to the side. They'll surely eat these after they finish eating the cow. Anyways, heap looks like the word hepa, so the heap of eggs should help you remember that hepatitis E virus is a member of the family Hepaviridae. One of the eggs they collected appears to be hatching, and you can see a little chick emerging. The chick hatching is a symbol for incubation because chicken eggs can hatch when incubated. The fact that the chick is the first one to hatch out of this big pile should help you remember that the incubation period is short. First one to hatch, short incubation period. So hepatitis E virus has a short incubation period. Next, notice that we've shown the naked guy stepping in a pile of poop. In fact, it's cow poop. So the cow may have died, but at least it got some form of retribution, right? Just like in our other videos, this guy stepping in poop is here to help you remember that hepatitis E virus exhibits fecal oral transmission. Now we got this pregnant woman sitting on the stump next to a skull. The pregnant woman is here to help you remember that hepatitis E virus commonly causes fulminant hepatitis in women who are pregnant. The skull right next to her should help you remember that it's associated with a high mortality rate in pregnant women. Finally, if you look closely at the bottom of the cow, you can see that it's getting a bit burned. This is how the tribe likes to eat it. The black spots are right next to the liver and can be thought of as a symbol for necrosis because necrosis results in dead black tissue. So black spots next to the liver for liver biopsy shows patchy necrosis. Welcome to section 37 of viruses. This is our virus overview figure, and in this video, we'll be discussing the reoviruses, including rotavirus and Colorado tick fever virus, which you can see right here. This scene will take place near the Rio Grande River. For those of you who don't know, this is a large river that begins in Colorado and flows to the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, we've shown the Rio Grande River and the Rio Grande snow shack right next to the river. Rio sounds like Riovirus. So these ideas should help you remember that this image is all about Rioviruses. Our first character of the scene is this guy with a Colt gun at his side. Colt sounds like cultivirus. So this should help you remember that cultivirus is one of the genuses belonging to the Riovirus family. Now notice that we've shown this guy standing right next to a sign that says "Welcome to Colorado." The sign should make you think of Colorado, and just like in many of our other videos, the heat lamp should make you think of a fever. So putting these two ideas together should help you remember Colorado tick fever virus, and this is a species in the cultivirus genus. So Colorado tick fever virus is a cultivirus. Just like in some of our other videos, the word arbol on the tree should help you remember that this is an arbovirus. This just means that it's transmitted through arthropods, such as ticks or mosquitoes. Hopefully by the name Colorado tick fever virus, you can logically deduce that it's transmitted by ticks. So arbol inscribed in the tree for arbovirus. To help reinforce the idea that the virus is transmitted through ticks, we've shown our guy eating some Tic Tacs. So Colorado tick fever virus is transmitted through ticks. Okay, now let's discuss rotavirus, which is the other genus of the Riovirus family. To help you remember rotavirus, we've shown a bunch of people going in a rotary motion in their tubes as they get sucked into a whirlpool. A rotary motion just means that they're turning around in a circle, which is hopefully pretty obvious by the whirlpool. So rotary motion for rotavirus. Now that we've discussed the important genuses and species of the Riovirus family, let's discuss other important characteristics of the Rioviruses. First, notice that the sunset is red and yellow. Just like in our other virus videos, this should help you remember that Rioviruses are RNA viruses. Now notice that we've added two waterfalls that are in parallel to each other. Just like in our other videos, these two parallel lines represent that Rioviruses are double-stranded. This is a unique feature of Rioviruses and can be confusing. So let's take a second to discuss this in more detail. Remember, most RNA viruses are single-stranded, which makes the positive or negative sense classification helpful. However, the double-stranded characteristic of Rioviruses throws a wrench into this classification scheme. So you'll notice that we haven't included a rainbow or a rain cloud to indicate if the virus is positive sense or negative sense. Let's pull up an image from the fundamentals chapter so you can see how this works. On the left, you can see how negative sense viruses
viruses are translated. And on the right, you can see how positive sense viruses are translated. Let's focus on the right first. Notice that a positive sense sequence of RNA just means that it's oriented in the 5' to 3' direction. This is important because host cell machinery, such as the host ribosome and host tRNA, only function in the 5' to 3' direction. So we can see that the vital strand of RNA enters the host cell and is directly translated into protein, and this uses the host cell machinery. If we look at the left, we can see that a sequence of negative sense RNA is oriented in the 3' to 5' direction. Therefore, negative sense viruses cannot be directly translated into protein because the host cell machinery is incompatible with the orientation of the sequence of RNA. This is why negative sense viruses have to bring along their own RNA-dependent polymerases. In this image, you can see the viral RNA-dependent RNA polymerase right here. These enzymes allow the virus to be converted into a positive sense strand, meaning that the sequence of RNA is reoriented in the 5' to 3' direction. You can see that right here. Once this occurs, the RNA can be utilized just like a positive sense strand of RNA. So hopefully you're able to deduce that if an RNA virus is double-stranded, then one of the strands must be negative sense, and the other complementary strand must be positive sense. So it would look like this. Therefore, double-stranded RNA viruses aren't really considered positive sense or negative sense. Okay, with this in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added a line of people waiting to get tubes so that they can enjoy the exhilarating ride in the Rio Grande. This line of people should help you remember that Rio viruses are linear. Next to the line of people, you can see that we've added a sign that is reoriented in the 5' to 3' direction. You can see that right here. Once this occurs, the RNA can be utilized just like a positive sense strand of RNA. So hopefully you're able to deduce that if an RNA virus is double-stranded, then one of the strands must be negative sense, and the other complementary strand must be positive sense. So it would look like this. Therefore, double-stranded RNA viruses aren't really considered positive sense or negative sense. Okay, with this in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added a line of people waiting to get tubes so that they can enjoy the exhilarating ride in the Rio Grande. This line of people should help you remember that Rio viruses are linear. Next to the line of people, you can see that we've added a sign that says 10 to 12 ways to tube. This sign is to help you remember that Rio viruses have 10 to 12 segments. I haven't mentioned this yet, but if you count the number of tubes on the water, you can see that there are exactly 11. This is because Rio virus, the sign that says 10 to 12 ways to. This in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added sense or negative sense. Okay. With this in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added a line of people waiting to get tubes so that they can enjoy the exhilarating ride in the Rio Grande. This line of people should help you return to the image. Notice that now we've added a positive sense or negative sense. Okay, with this in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added a line of people waiting to get tubes just like a positive sense strand of RNA. So hopefully you're able to deduce that if an RNA virus is double-stranded, then one of the strands must be negative sense, and the other complementary strand must be positive sense. So it would look like this. Therefore, double-stranded RNA viruses aren't really considered positive sense or negative sense. Okay, with this in mind, let's return to the image. Notice that now we've added a line of people waiting to get tubes so that they can enjoy the exhilarating ride in the Rio Grande. This line of people should help you remember that Rio viruses are linear. Next to the line of people, you can see that we've added a sign that says 10 to 12 ways to tube. This sign is to help you remember that Rio viruses have 10 to 12 segments. I haven't mentioned this yet, but if you count the number of tubes on the water, you can see that there are exactly 11. Ways to tube. The exhilarating ride in the Rio Grande. This line of people should help you remember that Rio viruses are linear. Next to the line of people, you can see that we've added a sign that says 10 to 12 ways to tube. This sign is to help you remember that Rio viruses have 10 to 12 segments. I haven't mentioned this yet, but if you count the number of tubes on the water, you can see that there are exactly 11. This is because Rio viruses have 10 to 12 segments, or 11 on average. Therefore, the 11 tubes in conjunction with the sign on the snow shack should help you remember that Rio viruses have approximately 11 segments. If you look towards the back of the image, you can see that we've shown some guy skinny dipping. He's obviously pretty comfortable with himself in public. Anyway, the naked guy here is to help you remember that Rio viruses are non-enveloped, or naked. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the girl near the Rio Grande snow shack. Let's zoom up on her so you can see this better. Notice that she's buying a snow cone, and it has a unique icosahedral shape. This is to remind you that Rio viruses have an icosahedral shaped capsid. If you look next to the guy selling her the snow cone, you can see that there is a wheel decoration. This is to help you remember that viral particles with a wheel-like shape can be seen on electron microscopy. This is a transmission electron micrograph of rotavirus. And as you can see, the particles are circular shaped with little jagged edges that resemble a wheel. Okay, everything we've covered so far applies to both Colorado tick fever virus and rotavirus, but the next few slides do not apply to Colorado tick fever virus. Just remember that the specific symptoms of Colorado tick fever virus are shown right next to the welcome to Colorado sign. Any other symptom away from this guy will be specific to rotavirus. Alright, with this in mind, notice that we added this kid towards the front of the image who was vomiting all over the ground. He just purchased a snow cone, but it must not have sat well with him because he's puking all over the place. The kid vomiting here is to help you remember that rotaviruses cause watery diarrhea and vomiting that can be fatal in children. To go along with the snow shack, we've shown a bunch of shaved ice and snow behind his little business. The pile of snow back here is to help you remember that rotavirus outbreaks are common during the wintertime in the United States. In the background, you can see that now we've added a tall guy with an axe who's chopping down cacti. In this image, you can see the cacti fading off into the background, which look kind of like intestinal villi. The fact that they're being chopped down should help you remember that rotavirus causes intestinal villi destruction. Now we've added a few animals to the image along with this live animal sign that's shaped kind of like a syringe. The animals tend to make frequent appearances near the river because they need water in this dry climate. So the managers over this recreational area have appropriately placed a sign to warn people about the dangerous animals. However, as you can probably tell, these people are having way too much fun to care about a bear that's coming down the hill towards them. I guess they should listen to that sign. Anyway, just like in other videos, the live animal sign that's shaped like a vaccine is here to help you remember that there was a live vaccine for rotavirus. If you look back to the right side of the image, we can see that a policeman is chasing away a punk kid who's skateboarding on the sidewalk right here. Let's zoom up on this so you can see better. Pretty audacious. That punk kid is skateboarding on the private property right next to a sign that says no loitering, and he's making very prominent skid marks on the ground. No wonder the policeman is chasing him. Anyway, these skid marks represent severe combined immunodeficiency, or SCID. Also, the policeman has a syringe in his pocket, which is a symbol for the vaccine. The fact that the policeman is chasing away this kid who's making the skid marks on the ground is here to help you remember that the live vaccine should not be given to patients with SCID. Finally, notice that the punk kid has a telescopic lens strapped to his back. The telescope is a symbol for intussusception because intussusception is basically telescoping the valve. The telescope in the syringe in the policeman's pocket is here to help you remember that the live vaccine increases the risk of intussusception. This occurs because the vaccine can cause Peyer's patch enlargement, which can then act as a lead point for intussusception to occur. So remember, the live vaccine increases the risk of intussusception. Welcome to section 38 of the viruses. This is the overview figure showing all the viruses you need to know for step 1. In this section, we'll be discussing poliovirus, which you can see right here. The story of poliovirus takes place in a sweet little village. Historically, this village has been undisturbed from any intrusion, and that's a good thing. Look at how beautiful this area is. It's got this red, warm, inviting sky. This red, warm color scheme in the sky indicates that this is an RNA virus, as you'll likely learn from previous videos. So, red, warm colors for RNA virus. To top it all off, there's a rainbow. Rainbows usually fill people with positive feelings when they spot them. So this will help you remember that poliovirus is a positive sense virus. And if you notice the asteroids in the top right, and those are freaking you out a little bit, I warn you that this village has more pressing matters to deal with. In fact, it's being invaded right now by an evil emperor and his henchmen. They're using poles like this to pole vault across the river. I guess deep down the henchmen are scaredy cats. They don't want to get wet at all. Or they just can't jump the small streams. So anyways, this pole represents poliovirus. Now what's he pointing at? The asteroids. As you can see, this large asteroid is breaking into several smaller asteroids as it descends toward the Earth. This represents the fact that once the positive sense poliovirus gets translated, a single large protein is formed. This large protein is then cleaved into several smaller functional viral proteins. So again, one big asteroid breaking into several smaller asteroids stands for one large viral protein being cleaved into several smaller viral proteins. Now let's dive into some of the nefarious activities of the emperor's henchmen. Look back here to this little innocent panda. This little panda was just folding some socks like his mom asked him to, and this invading ox henchman comes and stabs him in the head with a needle. That's awful. Well, sock sounds like salt, and this needle stabbing the poor panda folding the socks represents the Salk vaccine. Socks are just lifeless pieces of laundry, so when you think of the Salk vaccine, remember the lifeless socks. That way you'll always remember that the Salk vaccine is lifeless, or rather a kill vaccine. Now these oxen captured one of the would-be heroes of our story. It looks like a tiger there, and one of these henchmen used this big poker to torment the hostages. And on that poker you can see they've written live saber-tooth tiger. They do this to humiliate the tiger and make her feel like a zoo animal that everyone can just come and look at for entertainment. Those jerks. Anyways, the word saber kind of sounds like Sabin, as in the Sabin vaccine for polio. And the Sabin vaccine is a live vaccine. So when you think of the words live saber-tooth tiger written on that cruel poker, remember that the Sabin vaccine is live. Now look at this evil alligator henchman running into the river. What's he running from? Well, some of the panda villagers have started defending their territory. These two pandas are chasing him away, showing the emperor they won't get pushed around anymore. And what does that say on his shirt? His shirt says IRS on it, like Internal Revenue Service. Like oppressive kings in the Middle Ages, this villainous emperor oppresses his subjects through excessive taxation. Now the symbol is not a dig at the IRS of the United States, but most of us are familiar that the IRS taxes people. So IRS is what we will call these henchmen alligator tax enforcers. And in this instance, IRS stands for IRES, which means internal ribosomal entry site. Now this image demonstrates translation within the cell's cytoplasm, and it's discussed in great detail in the molecular biology chapter. I only want to draw your attention to one area, the small subunit binding to the mRNA. mRNA, which you can see right here, normally has a 5' guanine cap, which you can see labeled right here. And this cap is recognized by the small ribosomal subunit. From there, it triggers the pairing and translation of the mRNA. Now coronaviruses are positive sense, as we previously discussed. This means that upon entering the cell, the positive sense virus can be immediately translated by the host ribosomes. However, the coronaviruses lack this 5' guanine cap. So how do the host ribosomes recognize the viral mRNA? Well, the small subunits actually recognize it a different way, through the internal ribosomal entry site that's located on the virus. Now this internal ribosomal entry site is so important to the infectivity of coronaviruses that we created a way for you to remember it, the IRS henchman. So when you think of the IRS henchman, think of the IRES as a different way, through the internal ribosomal entry site that's located on the virus. Now this internal ribosomal entry site is so important to the infectivity of coronaviruses that we created a way for you to remember it, the IRS henchman. So when you think of the IRS henchman, think of the IRES in the coronaviruses. Now the panda revolt continues as this villager is ripped off the clothes of his taxing oppressor. Now look at that gator, out of uniform and naked. Good thing there's a black box covering up certain areas. Anyways, this naked henchman represents the fact that polio is a naked virus, meaning it lacks an envelope. So naked henchman for naked virus. Now look at this naked henchman. He got his clothes ripped off and then he just dove right into the river to escape the panda fury. It's almost like the naked henchman is getting swallowed up by the river. This swallowing represents how naked viruses enter host cells through endocytosis. Now we look at this naked henchman floating down the river. The river's pretty nasty and brown. Well, that brown river represents the intestines. Notice how it intersects with this other more red looking river. Unfortunately, upstream of the red river, there's a major bloodbath going on and it's kind of spilling into this river. Anyways, this red river represents the bloodstream. The fact that the henchman is flowing from the intestine river and entering the blood river represents how poliovirus enters the intestines. And from there, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. And once in the bloodstream, the virus can go all kinds of places. If you follow that blood river, you can see it flows into that watermill in the background. The natural flow of water generates the energy this village requires. In fact, this watermill is so central to the day-to-day functionality of the village that they even call it the central facility, which you can see written on front of it. You can see a bunch of poles from the pole vaulting oxen pile up at the entrance of the central facility. So what is this all about? Well, the central facility represents the central nervous system, and the most damaging place that poliovirus can go is the central nervous system. Once there, it causes all kinds of issues. So again, the poles traveling through the blood river and clogging up the central facility stands for poliovirus entering the bloodstream and infecting the central nervous system. Now, the pandas are really disrupting the emperor's hostile takeover. You can see this panda pounding on one of the oxen who jumped the stream. After being hit, the oxen looks pretty delirious, indicating that the hit was effective. It even smashed the hat on the ox. Now, good thing these pandas know kung fu. Anyways, this hat as well as getting hit in the head represent meningitis, and that makes sense. After all, poliovirus enters the central nervous system, so it makes sense that it would cause an infection there, like meningitis. Now, this oxen closest to us has been grabbed by the horns and is being manhandled, or I guess panda handled. Anyways, this grabbing of the ox horns represents the anterior horns of the spinal cord. This image demonstrates the corticospinal tract, and it's described in great detail in the neurology physiology chapter. We won't go into all that detail here. Right now, I only want you to know that the corticospinal tract is how your brain controls movement of your body. It's made up of two neurons, an upper motor neuron, which you can see right here, and this will travel down from the brain and reach the anterior horn of the spinal cord. The upper motor neuron will synapse here to the lower motor neuron, which you can see labeled here. This lower motor neuron then carries motor information to the neuromuscular junction, or NMJ. From there, it can stimulate the appropriate muscles to move, for example, the arms and legs. And this anterior horn is directly attacked in polio. And since the anterior horn houses the cell body of the lower motor neuron, damage here will result in lower motor neuron signs. Lower motor neuron signs include weakness and paralysis, as well as fasciculations and atrophy. Don't worry, we have a symbol for each one of these. So going back to that horn grabbing panda, we can see that he's shaking that. Ox around. You can see those shake lines as the ox gets jiggled. This represents fasciculations. Fasciculations are involuntary muscle twitches that occur with lower motor neuron damage. I think it's safe to say that this ox is getting shaken around involuntarily. So shaking ox for fasciculations. Now, the panda over here has beaten this ox to a pulp, and the ox is now weak and tired and limp. Look at his arms and legs dangling helplessly. Being so limp makes it look like he's paralyzed. This limp paralysis represents the weakness and flaccid paralysis that can occur with lower motor neuron damage. So who's this emperor we've been talking about? It's this guy. As you can see, he's a peacock. Like most male peacocks, this guy thinks he's better than everyone else. Anyways, peacock sounds like a coronavirus. Poliovirus is one of the coronaviruses that you need to know about. And this evil peacock emperor carries his royal stick around. As you can see, it has this fancy jewel on top of it. The jewel has an icosahedral shape to it. This represents the fact that poliovirus has an icosahedral capsid. Thankfully, this peacock emperor got what was coming to him. As you can see, the pandas tied him up. That's a pretty solid signal the emperor should leave this village alone from now on. Anyways, look at his arms. It looks like he's been defeathered, now revealing his wispy little arms. He's not strong at all. Maybe he got weak from being a spoiled emperor for so long. We could call that atrophy. This atrophy emperor will help you remember the atrophy that results from lower motor neuron damage. Now let's look at this panda here. He was the one who disarmed the emperor peacock with his trusty axe. The panda now sits here proudly breaking the axe with only his powerful kung fu fist. If you look closely, this axe has the appearance of a set of lungs. Many of the muscles that get weak and atrophy from lower motor neuron damage are muscles that help expand the thoracic cavity. If weak, the lungs will not expand fully. The diaphragm might work, but it takes more than just the diaphragm to expand the entire chest wall. For this reason, polio patients often experience respiratory failure. So breaking lung-shaped axe stands for respiratory failure. If you look back here, there's two pandas with muscles that help expand the thoracic cavity. If weak, the lungs will lower motor neuron damage. Now let's look at this panda here. He was the one who disarmed the emperor peacock with his trusty axe. The panda now sits here proudly breaking the axe with only his powerful kung fu fist. If you look closely, this axe has the appearance of a set of lungs. Many of the muscles that get weak and atrophy from lower motor neuron damage are muscles that help expand the thoracic cavity. If weak, the lungs will not expand fully. The diaphragm might work, but it takes more than just the diaphragm to expand the entire chest wall. For this reason, polio patients often experience respiratory failure. So breaking lung-shaped axe stands for respiratory failure. Weak, the lungs will not expand fully. The diaphragm might work, but it takes more than just the diaphragm to expand the entire chest wall. For this reason, polio patients often experience respiratory failure. So breaking lung-shaped axe stands for respiratory failure. If you look back here, there's two pandas roasting intestines over an open fire. It's kind of weird that they're eating intestines. Don't worry though, just because the story has humanoid and intelligent pandas, oxen and a peacock, and some alligators, doesn't mean that all the animals in this universe are intelligent. So you should feel rest assured that these intestines the pandas are eating are from non-intelligent or non-sentient beings. My point is that the pandas are the good guys. But what you should really know is that the intestines represent enterovirus. Enteroviruses is a descriptive category that polioviruses fall into, and the term simply means that the virus can replicate within the intestines. This also means that the virus can often spread to the central nervous system, as we discussed earlier. Now let's take a second to talk about the non-CNS symptoms polio can cause. See this guy vomiting? Yep, polio can cause vomiting. The other guy doesn't look so good either. This poor swaying panda looks the way many of us feel when we describe malaise. His eyes make him look unfocused and exhausted. Anyways, these two intestine-eating pandas stand for the generic signs of infection that accompany a polio infection. So think fever, malaise, sweating, headache, and of course nausea and vomiting. Now the pandas aren't cruel. You can see that the defeated oxen are sent off in a line, forced out of the village. Their safe exit, of course, implies that the pandas didn't murder their oppressors. Anyways, this line of oxen will help you remember that polio is a linear virus. On his way out, this ox stepped in some poop. He's pretty disgusted that he stepped in the poop and is now complaining to the marching forcing panda. The panda has no sympathy. The oxen just attacked his village. Why should he feel bad? Anyways, this poo represents the fact that polio has fecal oral transmission. Welcome to section 39 of the viruses. This is the overview figure showing all the viruses you need to know for step 1. In this section, we will be discussing the next coronavirus, which is echovirus. Our echovirus story takes place outside a cave. Some people like to yell into caves to hear their own echo. This villainous peacock is doing just that. He's literally yelling echo into the cave to hear his own echo. This activity will help you remember that this is echovirus we're dealing with. Now notice that positive looking rainbow over to the left. That indicates that echovirus is a positive sense virus. Positive rainbow for positive sense. And also notice the nice red and warm colors of the scene. This color scheme indicates that echovirus is an RNA virus. So red warm colors for RNA virus. Now this villainous peacock is in fact a peacock. Peacock sounds like the coronavirus. So each coronavirus you see in physio will include this evil peacock. So peacock, the coronavirus. And look at that big walking stick he's holding. It has an icosahedral gem on the top. You will come to realize that this coronavirus peacock doesn't go anywhere without its trusty icosahedral cane. Anyways, this gem will help you remember that the capsid for echovirus has an icosahedral shape to it. So icosahedral gem for icosahedral capsid. As a villain, he has a whole crew of henchmen doing his bidding. See this line of henchmen here? Well, this line will help you remember that echovirus is a linear virus. So again, line of henchmen for linear virus. Now let's look closer at their shirts. Their shirts say IRS on them, like Internal Revenue Service. Like oppressive kings in the Middle Ages, this villainous peacock oppresses his subjects through excessive taxation. It may not be called the IRS back then, but most of us are familiar with the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. So IRS is what we will call these tax enforcers. Now, I'm not suggesting that the IRS of the United States is villainous in any way. It's just a nice way to help you remember something important about echovirus. IRS will help you remember IRES, as in Internal Ribosomal Entry Site. If you need a refresher on this concept, please see the poliovirus lecture. Now, this villainous emperor really can't oppress anybody if there's no way to oppress. So let's bring on these oppressed pigs of our story. Look at them, all scared of the brutal enforcement of the peacock. Interestingly, these little piggies like to be naked at all times. Thankfully, we have included a black box to cover up the nakedness. Anyways, these naked pigs indicate that echovirus is a naked virus. So naked pigs for naked virus. None of the pigs stand idly by just being nervous and naked. In fact, this bold piggy is taking matters into his own hands and choking his oppressor. What is he choking the IRS guy with? Some intestines, pig intestines actually. If you look closely at the bags the IRS workers are carrying, you can see that they are labeled pig intestines. It's actually the lunch they prepare. They wear the label proudly in order to intimidate these pigs, as if to say, we eat pig intestines, so watch out. Now this pig wasn't going to stand for it, so he's taking some intestines from the bag and started choking this guy with it. Anyways, these intestines will help you remember enteroviruses. Enteroviruses such as echovirus, poliovirus, and coccidiovirus all replicate in the intestines. Interestingly, in case you're curious, they can also replicate inside the tonsils. But just remember that these intestines stand for enterovirus. Another fact about enteroviruses is that they're transmitted via the fecal oral route. That makes sense. And started choking this guy with it. Anyways, these intestines will help you remember enteroviruses. Enteroviruses such as echovirus, poliovirus, and coccidiovirus all replicate in the intestines. Interestingly, in case he's taking some intestines from the bag and started choking this guy with it. Anyways, these intestines will help you remember enteroviruses. Enteroviruses such as echovirus, poliovirus, and coccidiovirus all replicate in the intestines. Interestingly, in case you're curious, they can also replicate inside the tonsils. But just remember that these intestines stand for enterovirus. Another fact about enteroviruses is that they're transmitted via the fecal oral route. That makes sense because they replicate inside the intestines, so they would likely shed via the intestines as well. To help you remember the fecal oral transmission, we have shown this alligator stepping in poop. Look how disgusted and angry he is. So remember, alligator stepping in poop stands for fecal oral transmission. Having stepped in poop, he's pretty angry. Look how angry he is. He's frothing at the mouth with rage. This is to help you remember that enteroviruses are also transmitted via saliva. As mentioned before, since enteroviruses can replicate inside tonsils, that means that salivary droplets can also be a mode of transmission. So again, salivating guy stands for salivary transmission. Now that first bold piggy has actually inspired some of his comrades. Look at this guy also fighting back. Look at him throw that rock at Henchman's head. That's a pretty impressive blow. They even knocked his hat off. This blow to the head represents meningitis, and the fact that he's wearing a hat reinforces this idea. Meningitis is an important association to be familiar with. So whenever you think of enterovirus, okay, look at him throw since enteroviruses can replicate inside the tonsils, that means that salivary droplets can also be a mode of transmission. So again, salivating guy stands for salivary transmission. Now that first bold piggy has actually inspired some of his comrades. Look at this guy also fighting back. Look at him throw that rock at Henchman's head. That's a pretty impressive blow. They even knocked his hat off. This blow to the head represents meningitis, and the fact that he's wearing a hat reinforces this idea. Meningitis is an important association to be familiar with. So whenever you think of enterovirus, think meningitis. So again, rocketing the head of the henchman with the hat stands for meningitis. Now let's bring on some asteroids descending to the Earth. This gigantic one right here in the front has broken up into a bunch of smaller pieces, which you can see scattering around. This giant asteroid breaking into smaller ones represents the fact that the host ribosomes will translate the viral RNA into a single giant viral protein. Then proteases cleave the giant protein product into a bunch of smaller functional viral proteins. So giant asteroid breaking into tiny pieces stands for giant protein cleaving into smaller functional proteins. Now one of these small asteroid pieces has smashed the ground and knocked these two pigs into the mud. Look at them sinking in there, helpless and naked. This represents the fact that naked viruses can be brought into the host cell via endocytosis. Viruses that are enveloped, on the other hand, have a lipid bilayer that fuses to the lipid bilayer of the host cell. But anyways, naked viruses, just like these naked pigs, enter the cell via endocytosis.